Number 2 will now come to order. Please stand for the playing of the national anthem. We have the Reverend Dr. Charles Edward Booth here to pray over council.
May we all bow our heads. Eternal God, our Heavenly Father, we thank Thee for the day that calls us now to this place and for the meeting that is about to transpire. We pray for him upon whom the mantle of leadership now falls. And we ask Thy blessings not only upon him, but upon all members of council. We pray that they might not bow to the idol of political expediency, but that they might look unto You, knowing that You are the way, the truth, and the life. Help us tonight as we gather in this chamber to hear the word of the ancient prophet. What doth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God? May these ancient principles that have spanned generations fall upon each of these individuals as they go forth to do that which is thy bidding. Bless them as they make decisions that will greatly affect our municipality, and grant all of us who are in this chamber and throughout this community to lift each one of these persons before You in prayer, that they might walk by faith and not by sight. For these things we ask in the name of Him who is our Christ and our King soon to return. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Booth. Clerk, call the roll.
Brown, Page, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Thank you, Clerk. Any person who takes any action to obstruct or to interfere with the conduct of tonight's meeting may be charged with disturbing a lawful meeting pursuant to Columbus City Code 2317-12. Any person who enters those areas of City Council chambers reserved for City Council officials or invited guests may be charged with criminal trespassing pursuant to Columbus City Code 2311.21. Can I get a motion to dispense with the reading of the journal? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Brown, Page, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
The first item of business of this council this evening is the appointment of a new member of Columbus City Council to fill the vacated seat of Councilmember Zach Klein. His letter of resignation was already read into the record at our January 2nd reorganization meeting. Before we call for a vote, I wanted to thank all of the applicants. You put your name out there because you want to give back to our city, a city that has given us so much. It isn't easy to put yourself into this arena and receive the sort of scrutiny that comes along with public life. We started this process with 36 applicants. Council members reviewed resumes, interviewed and talked to all the applicants, and eventually the list was narrowed down to 13. Each one of those 13 finalists interviewed before this body. Over Thursday and Friday of last week, we spent about 13 hours interviewing the finalists. Everyone who applied shared with us their vision, a set of ideas that they believe can improve the quality of life in our city. This council is comprised of members who value partnerships. Ideas don't arise in silos, but they are built through collaboration and exchange. So, to those applicants, consider this council your partners. I believe one of the more important questions that this process will bring to us is how do we, or the folks who are not selected this evening, going to continue to serve? How are we going to work together within your neighborhoods and neighborhoods throughout this city to make Columbus more equitable, a place where everyone has a chance to provide for their family? Given the caliber of the applicants, I know they're committed, and I'm excited for how we will link arms together for the good of Columbus. Are there any comments from my colleagues? President Pro Tem Stenziano.
Thank you, President Harden. Just wanted to echo your sentiment. Going through this process, it is always very inspiring to see so many residents want to give back to their community, give back to their neighborhoods. We had an amazing group that was willing to step up and really share with us their vision on how they would like to participate, move the city forward, work collaboratively across all neighborhoods. And so really, again, I want to echo your sentiment. Thank all the applicants. Thank my colleagues for a very thorough and thoughtful process. And that's all I got.
Thank you, Councilmember. Are there any nominations to fill the vacancy of City Attorney Zach Klein?
President Harden, I nominate Mr. Emmanuel Remy for the position to replace Councilman Zach Klein.
There is a motion from Councilmember Brown for Emmanuel Remy to fill the position vacated by City Attorney Klein.
Ms. Brown? Yes. Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Page? Yes. Mr. Stenziano? Yes. Ms. Tyson?
Yes.
President Harden?
I would like to congratulate Councilmember Emmanuel Remy on his selection. Councilmember Remy will have a public swearing-in ceremony, which will be announced at a later date. Please note that for the record, that committee assignments will be read into the record when the newly appointed council member is seated at our regular meeting on January 22nd at 5 p.m. We will now take a quick 5-minute recess and will return to continue business in the regular meeting. May I have a motion to recess regular meeting number 2? Clerk, call the roll.
Brown, Page, Stenziano, Tyson. President Harden?
Clerk, call the roll.
Brown, Page, Stenziano, Tyson. President Harden?
Are there any resolutions by members of council? Councilmember Brown. Councilmember Mitch Brown.
No, Mr. President.
Councilmember Page. President Pro Tem Stenziano. Councilmember Tyson.
Yes, I have Resolution 0342X-2017. I'm going to ask E.J. Thomas to move towards the podium, please. This resolution is to recognize and to applaud E.J. Thomas for his service as the chairman of the board for the Human Service Chamber of Franklin County. Whereas E.J. Thomas is concluding a 2-year term as chair of the board of the Human Service Chamber of Franklin County, and whereas the Human Service Chamber of Franklin County, HCS, HSC, represents nearly 60 nonprofit organizations serving the residents of Franklin County through work and housing, health care, behavioral health, food insecurity, education, child care, workforce development, reentry services, refugee and immigration services, mentoring, and more. Whereas, as chair of the board, Mr. Thomas has elevated HSC's role as one voice for the community of human service agencies, doing critical work in a critical time. HSC supports and champions nonprofits through collaboration and partnership with leaders in government, philanthropy, and business. In fact, no one has been a better supporter or champion than Mr. Thomas. Whereas EJ also serves as the Chief Executive Officer of Habitat for Humanity of Mid-Ohio, where he has received a number of accolades for his role, including CEO of the Year for a large nonprofit organization by CEO Magazine. And whereas EJ is a former state representative for the 27th District in the North Columbus, serving 8 terms, excuse me. He also retired from the United States Air Force and the Ohio Air National Guard with 32 years of military service. EJ is also credited with serving 32 missions during the First Persian Gulf War. And whereas EJ's service to Franklin County, to Ohio, and to our country represent what he is all about, a commitment to serving those in need. Moreover, his dedication, achievements, and his leadership define a career of service to others worthy of emulating. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Council of the City of Columbus that this council does hereby recognize and applaud E.J. Thomas for his service as the chairman of the board for the Human Service Chamber of Franklin County. I move for adoption.
Brown, Page, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Thank you. Any comments from my colleagues? If not, E.J., the floor is yours.
President Harden and Councilwoman Tyson, thank you so much for this recognition. I'd like to say that to offer you a sincere thank you for the help that you gave me during my term as chair, because without your help, we would not be as far along as we are now. And the chamber is left in able hands with King Stump as the new incoming chair, and I know that you and members of council will enjoy working with him, and I'll be right behind him all the way. So, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And my one announcement is tomorrow in council chambers at 5 o'clock, we will take public comment on the 2018 proposed administration's budget. And anyone can come down and make any comments on the budget, things they'd like to see in the budget, but tomorrow in chambers at 5 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Tyson. At this point, it is my honor to call to the microphone my pastor, the Reverend Dr. Charles Edward Booth. And can I have the members of Mount Olive Baptist Church to stand? I was going to invite everybody down to the podium with him, and so seeing that we are strong out in support of our pastor and his 40th anniversary at Mount Olive Baptist Church, I'll just ask for folks to stand as I read Resolution 0339X-2017 to honor the 40th pastoral anniversary of Reverend Dr. Charles E. Booth. Reverend Charles E. Booth, or whereas Reverend Charles E. Booth graduated from Howard University and has received a Master's of Divinity from the Eastern Baptist Theological Seminary and a Doctor of Divinity from the United Theological Seminary. And whereas Dr. Booth has been recognized in a number of works and has published his work predicated upon African American preachers and African American preaching. And whereas Dr. Booth is an accomplished pastor who leads his congregation by focusing on providing spiritual nurturing, upon this anniversary, the Columbus City Council commends Reverend Dr. Charles E. Booth on his 40 years of crucial community service and drive for improvement through his pastoral work. Be it resolved by this council of the City of Columbus that the council does hereby recognize and celebrate the 40th pastoral anniversary of Reverend Dr. Charles Edward Booth. Before I call for a vote on this resolution, do any of my colleagues have any comments? Councilmember Brown.
I could not let the moment go by without saying how pleasant it has always been to work with you, Pastor Booth. You know, over the many, many years that we've worked together, the fact that you've been at it for 40 years is very, very surprising to me, but you don't look a day over 39. That being said, again, thank you for the counsel that you provided to the members of your parishioners and the counsel you provided to me as well. I truly appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
Councilmember Tyson.
Thank you. Pastor Booth, I just want to say thank you for your leadership in this community. Certainly you are a partner with the city. The city has gone through some difficult times, and we've gone through those difficult times. You've always stood with us to help to lead and guide us through those times, and I truly appreciate that. I appreciate the work that your church and the congregation does to be able to, again, move our city forward. We can always count on Mount Olivet to stand to help us. And so, but to you personally, I just want to say thank you. You've been a person that I can personally call, and you've given me great advice. And I thank you for that. And I just thank you for being the person that you are. So thank you, and may God continue to bless you and your congregation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Tyson. The Mount Olivet Baptist Church is extremely proud of the leadership of our shepherd, Dr. Booth. As a member, but also as a council member, I think both Councilmember Tyson and Councilmember Brown spoke with the counsel that you've given to us. You don't just lead your flock at Mount Olivet, but you lead this city. You step outside of the doors of our little old church on Main Street, and you spill over. Furthermore, you make sure that our hands are still on the plow, and for that, I'm eternally grateful. And this council and this city is eternally grateful. Dr. Booth, would you have any words?
To President Hardin and to all of the members of council, I'm deeply honored tonight to be here, and I thank you so much for this citation that you are giving to me. Many years ago, I used to say that time flies when you're having fun, but now that I've reached my 70, I simply say time flies. It's been a joy to shepherd the Mount Olivet flock now for 40 years, and I have been thinking in these last few days that time speedily and readily escapes all of us. And I am grateful to the eternal God for the privilege and the honor to serve the Mount Olivet Baptist Church. And the citation that you give to me tonight is not just for me, but it represents also the wonderful people of that congregation who have been a part of this community for 110 years. And I would simply ask that your prayers might be with us as we go forward in the ministry that has been entrusted to our care and keeping, and always know that the prayers of our congregation are with each of you as you make decisions that will impact all of our lives. I close with a comment that my mother shared with me many, many years ago in Baltimore. And anybody who has listened to me knows that I often quote my mother because there were so many wise things that she has shared with me that have not in any way escaped my thinking. Mama used to say that people don't have to be nice, and they don't have to be nice to you. And so I'm grateful for this citation. I thank you for it. I bid you Godspeed. And again, thank you very much.
Now, Dr. Jean Harris yesterday at church gave us all a challenge. First, she articulated several things that we're going to do this week to honor Dr. Booth. And then she said she's going to test us on it. And so I'm trying to pass this test. First, we're going to honor Dr. Booth at council on Monday night, and we've done that. Then we are going to have on Friday night, Mount Olivet Got Talent. And encourage folks to come out and participate. On Saturday morning, we're going to pray for our pastor at 9 a.m. And then on Sunday, we are going to have glorious worship service as we honor and recognize Pastor and Bishop Ross will be preaching that service. Did I pass? All right. I move for adoption. Clerk, call the roll.
Brown, Page, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Thank you. I also would like to take this moment to welcome to council and to see if they have any words. First, our city auditor, Ms. Megan Kilgore. Welcome to council. I think it's worth the applause. Any comments? Auditor Kilgore. And to welcome our city attorney, Zach Klein. Any comments? He's at a loss for words. Do we have anyone from the municipal bench? Seeing none, but I do see we have several area commission members represented. I see Southside, Franklinton, and I saw Northland Community Council represented here this evening as well. Are there any requests by members of council for the removal of an ordinance or resolution from the consent action portion of the agenda? Seeing none, may we now have a motion to waive reading of the titles of 30-day legislation by the city clerk? Clerk, call the roll.
Brown, Page, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Thank you. Will the clerk now read the ordinance numbers of 30-day legislation on tonight's agenda for first reading?
Finance Committee, Ordinance 49-2018. Economic Development Committee, Ordinances 105, 106, 107-2018. Public Safety Committee, Ordinance 3294-2017. Recreation and Parks Committee, Ordinance 3313-2017. Public Utilities Committee, Ordinances 3270, 3291, and 3341-2017.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We have one speaker for first reading this evening. Could Minister Kajenga Ashe come forward to speak on Ordinance 3291-2017? Welcome to council. Minister Ashe, you have 3 minutes. Thank you.
President Harding, council members Brown, Tyson, Stenziano, and Page. My name is Kajenga Eli Ashe. I live at 1119 East 16th Avenue, Columbus, Ohio, a longtime community resident. I'm here. I looked at this particular ordinance, and I'm for this. It's dealing with a capital improvements budget to provide sufficient authority for $1,731,600 for improvement, upgrade to the Williams Road, Castle Road sanitary pump station. Now, I see this. I'm involved in the Linden area, and I won't even take the 3 minutes, with a housing project that I would like to see involved some kind of way in the capital improvements budget or some similar particular budget. I know that Jiza is the Councilwoman Page is the person that does the housing. We have people that are homeless. We have veterans. We have people that are widows. We have seniors. We have a number of people that need housing. And we can't, I'd asked Representative Stenziano before to get best practices, but I've never got those. from him to this point. He had a meeting at the Linden Library. We need houses. We have such a drug-infested problem in the Linden area and other parts of the city. We have problems with the housing. We have problems with food. The Kroger's at Northern Lights is closing. We have a food desert already, and now we're going to lose the Kroger's. I know you're city and not the county, but at the same time, we have all of these problems, drugs being one of the main ones and housing being one of the main problems. And people are hungry. We go to the food pantries to get the leftover food that Giant Eagles and Kroger's would throw away. The EBT cards that we have aren't sufficient to last a whole month. They only last half a month, but yet every time I come to city council and I see these $1 million contracts being given out to construction companies and people that I don't even know and nobody in our community knows, I wonder why can't we get a contract to do at least do some housing for these single mothers, for the, we have a great infant mortality rate, these single mothers and all of that. Why can't we get some housing? I talked to Marty Michael. We looked at 7 houses a couple weeks ago in the Linden area, but we can't afford to pay $10,000, $11,000, $15,000 for a house, even if we get a grant for that. So that's my problem. I'm for this particular issue. I hope that it does pass, but at the same time, I would like to see the construction industry that in our neighborhoods get some type of grant or some type of capital improvements so that we might be able to move forward and help improve our community. I give you back your 15 seconds.
Thank you, Minister Ashe, and thank you for the work that you do in the community. We look forward to continue to be partners in the shared vision and work that we have ahead of us.
I look to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you. The following ordinance appear on our agenda as consent actions. Will the clerk now read the ordinance numbers of each into the record?
Resolution 2X-2018, Finance Committee, Ordinance 3225-2017. Health and Human Services Committee, Ordinances 3005, 3312, 3327, 3339-2017, and Ordinances 22 and 24-2018. Administration Committee, Ordinances 6, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 17-2018. Public Safety Committee, Ordinance 2870-2017. Public Service and Transportation Committee, Ordinances 3238, 3246, 3292, 3302, 3311, 3315-2017, and Ordinances 20, 26, and 33-2018. Recreation and Parks Committee, Ordinance 3318-2017. Housing Committee, Ordinances 3340, 3346-2017, and Ordinances 1, 2, 3, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, and 103-2018. Public Utilities Committee, Ordinance 3343-2017. Appointments from the Mayor's Office numbered A0001, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 17-2018.
May I have a motion for approval of these items designated as consent actions? Clerk, call the roll by voice, please.
Ms. Brown? Yes. Mr. Brown? Yes. Ms. Page? Yes. Mr. Stenziano? Yes. Ms. Tyson?
Yes, with the exception of 3315-2017, on which I am abstaining.
President Harden?
Yes. Ordinance passes. With the notable exceptions, I apologize. We will now proceed with the second reading of 30-day tabled and emergency legislation. The first committee is the Health and Human Services Committee, chaired by Councilmember Tyson. Councilmember Tyson, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I have ordinance number 3199-2017 to authorize and direct the Board of Health to enter into various contracts for the ODH HIV Care Part A Supplemental Grant Program to authorize an expenditure of $300,000 from the Health Department's grant fund. This grant requires Columbus Public Health to assure quality medical care to eligible persons living with HIV or AIDS in Central Ohio. The contracts will be, with the passage of this legislation, the contracts will be given to Southeast Inc., Equitas Health, AIDS Healthcare Foundation, and the Research Institute at Nationwide Children's Hospital. I move for passage by voice vote.
Thank you, Councilmember. Clerk, call the roll by voice.
Ms. Brown? Mr. Brown? Page? Stenziano? Tyson?
Yes.
President Harden.
Yes, ordinance passed.
Thank you. The next ordinance is ordinance number 3305-2017. Is to make appropriations for the 12 months ending December 31 of 2018 from the city's Special Purpose Fund to the Department of Health and various object levels for the continued operations of the health special purpose activities and to declare an emergency. This is for $387,200, and it will support the following activities: the Rabies Clinic Program, the Ohio Childhood Auto Safety Program, the TB Prevention and Control Program, and the Grant Sealant Medical Program. If there are no questions or comments, I move for passage.
Clerk, call the roll.
Brown, Brown, Page, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Ordinance is passed.
Thank you. Thank you. And the final ordinance is ordinance 3308-2017 to make appropriation for 12 months ending December 31 of 2018 for the Health Department Grants Fund to the Department of Health and various projects and object classes for the continued operations of grant programs, and to ensure and to authorize the Board of Health to accept a grant award and to declare an emergency. This is $3,844,507.84. The following programs that these dollars will fund is public health emergency preparedness, the clinical health grants, which is HIV prevention, STD control, TB, and congenital syphilis, alcohol and other drugs, maternal child health, the dental sealant, and healthy outcomes. If there are no questions or comments, I move for passage.
Clerk, call the roll.
Brown, Brown, Page, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilmember Tyson. The next committee to come before council is the Administration Committee. This committee is chaired by Councilmember Elizabeth Brown.
Thank you, President Harden. My items in the Administration Committee, this is the third time now that I've had the chance to do this before Council, which is present really large numbers that allot insurance and benefit programs for our employees. And I really want to start all of these off simply by thanking Director Brandon. You know, we kind of pass these at the first one or two meetings of the year each year, and but it's actually the reflection of a lot of hard work and planning that your department does, that your staff does, and some of the other folks that you work alongside. So I appreciate that very much, and I know it's all part and parcel of collective bargaining agreements and the many things that you navigate at through our human resources offices. So thank you for that, and I'll ask you for comment in a minute, but just wanted to start with that, Director. Thank you. First, we have Ordinance 0004-2018 to make appropriations for the 12 months ending January 31st, 2019 for the funding of the city employee insurance programs and to declare an emergency. This appropriation is necessary to maintain employee insurance programs in accordance with the negotiated labor contracts. Current utilization and projected future claims were analyzed to determine the amount necessary to maintain all employee benefits programs through the end of the year. This appropriation of $214,145,441 covers the costs of all employee insurance and wellness programs for the City of Columbus. This includes the programs authorized by the remaining ordinances on second reading in the Administration Committee tonight, as well as the city's COBRA program, tobacco cessation program, biometric screenings program, and the Employee Fitness Center, which were authorized by ordinances on the consent agenda this evening. The funding is contingent on the passage of the 2018 operating budget. Emergency action is being considered for this ordinance and all of the following ordinances to ensure that the insurance programs for city employees continue uninterrupted. Are there questions for my colleagues about 0004-2018? I move for passage.
Second.
Brown, Page, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Next, we have ordinance 0005-2018 to authorize the Human Resources Director to modify and extend the contract with United Healthcare Insurance Company and to provide all eligible employees medical insurance coverage from February 1st, 2018 through January 31st, 2019, to authorize the expenditure of $150,443,052 from the Employee Benefits Fund, or so much thereof as may be necessary to pay the costs of said contract, to waive the competitive bidding requirements of the Columbus City Codes, and to declare an emergency. This ordinance represents an extension of an existing contract with United Healthcare to administer the city's medical insurance program for a fourth year. Competitive bidding is being waived for the extension so that the medical insurance plan was not bid at the same time as contract negotiations were occurring for all 5 unions covering City of Columbus employees. United Healthcare was selected through a competitive bidding process when the contract was initiated, and the Department of HR plans to competitively bid a new contract beginning February 1st of 2019, once this extension expires. This appropriation is a 12.48% increase over last year, which is in line with anticipated increases in the overall cost of health care. Are there questions from my colleagues about any of this? I move for passage.
Second.
Brown, Page, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Next, we have ordinance 0007-2018 to authorize the Human Resources Director to modify and extend the contract with Optum Rx to provide all eligible employees prescription drug insurance coverage from February 1st, 2018 through January 31st, 2019, to authorize the expenditure of $50,160,000 from the Employee Benefits Fund, or so much thereof as may be necessary to pay the costs of said contract, to waive the competitive bidding requirements of the Columbus City Codes, and to declare an emergency. This ordinance authorizes the extension of an existing contract with Optum Rx to administer the city's prescription drug insurance program for a fourth year. Similar to the medical insurance program, competitive bidding is being waived for this extension so that the RFP process and changes to the program don't conflict with contract negotiations. The appropriation is a 5.3% increase over the previous year, which is again in line with the increases we anticipated in the overall cost of prescription coverage. Director Brandon, I know that your department has been working hard on trying to anticipate increases and control costs where we have the ability. Is there anything that you'd like to comment on some cost-containing measures being implemented in cooperation with unions for things like the medical insurance and prescription drug insurance programs?
Well, I can comment on a few things. Thank you for the opportunity. President Harden, Chairwoman Brown, and members of council, first, thank you for your comments earlier. I appreciate that. It is a lot of hard work and a lot of people that contribute to that, so we appreciate the comments. In 2018, the Department of Human Resources achieved major changes in the medical insurance benefits and the prescription drug insurance benefits in the non-uniform collective bargaining contracts and MCP ordinances. These changes are aimed at controlling the rising medical costs while continuing to provide excellent benefits and prescription drug coverage to the City of Columbus employees and covered dependents. The changes went into effect January 1st of 2018. There were some increases in the medical insurance deductibles. We also had an increase in the out-of-pocket maximums, and these are the responsibilities of the employees. So when we're talking about increases and trends that go up in our costs, 2 things factor into that, and that's the overall cost of the medical services out in the industry, and then the plan design, which means what is the city going to pay compared to what the employees are going to be responsible for. So some of the cost containment measures that we put into place include increases in the employee responsibility, as well as some other changes to hopefully affect the behaviors of employees and some of the decisions that they make with regard to their insurance and medical costs. So when I'm speaking of some of these increases, it's actually to the employee, and that is, again, the increase in the deductibles, increase in out-of-pocket maximums, increase in medical insurance office copays, and the medical insurance benefits will participate in the United Healthcare Maximum Non-Network Reimbursement Program. Those are a lot of words, but basically what that means is that we are trying really hard to encourage our employees to utilize doctors that are in network, because that ultimately is a lower cost for the city. So by participating in this program, we hope to encourage employees and direct them to in-network providers. The city has implemented an increase in the employee premiums. So during the life of the contract and by the end, city employees will pay 15% premiums. And we've also implemented for new hires beginning January 1 of 2018, that premium will be 20%. So again, we are trying to align our benefits, our costs, and our plan with industry standards, and we were very happy with some of those changes that we were able to make during the negotiation process. In our prescription drug program, we have increased the copays that insurance or insured employees will receive or have to pay. So it's slight, but those will make an impact. So there are 3 tiers. They used to be $5, $10, and $25. Those have increased. The first tier stays at $5, and then $15 and $30 are the new costs. Participation in the Optum RX formulary, step therapy program, and prior authorization program. Those programs are, again, administered through Optum RX. They're programs that are industry standards, and basically the goal of the programs is to encourage members to utilize appropriate and cost-effective prescription drugs. So there are some doctors who may prescribe things or to dispense as written, and we will do what we have to do there. But in most cases, there are opportunities for doctors to identify drugs that are a lower cost, and so through these programs, Optum RX will assist us in identifying and ensuring that the employees are receiving the coverage that they need, but we are receiving or paying for the drugs that are actually the best cost for what they're covering. So it's something that we've never had in place before, and we hope that that sort of containment measure will assist us in trying to monitor and control our costs. Lastly, participation in the Optum Rx opioid risk management program. This is a multidimensional approach designed to stop opioid abuse before it starts, while supporting chronic individuals and their recovery. So all of these cost containment measures we've put into place now for about a week. So we really don't have a lot of numbers to share with you right now, but we are certainly hopeful that these changes will affect the costs, and the appropriations next year will go down. But again, we won't know that until we at least have a year in it. And please understand, again, these changes only apply right now to our non-uniformed employees and MCP ordinances. So we are still in negotiations with other units at this time and don't have these same changes in effect. So I appreciate the opportunity to share them. If you have any questions, I will do my best to address those.
Thank you so much, Director Brandon. Any questions from my colleagues? Hearing no questions or comments, I move for passage.
Second.
Brown, Page, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Next, we have Ordinance 0008-2018 to authorize the Human Resources Director to modify and extend the contract with Delta Dental Plan of Ohio, Incorporated, to provide all eligible employees dental insurance coverage from February 1st, 2018 through January 31st, 2019, to authorize the expenditure of $8,050,000 from the Employee Benefits Fund, or so much thereof as may be necessary to pay the costs of said contract, and to declare an emergency. This extension for the city's dental insurance program is the second year of a 3-year term that was competitively bid and awarded in 2016. The appropriation is a reduction of 0.6% from the previous year. Any questions? I move for passage.
Second.
Brown, Page, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Next ordinance is 0009-2018 to authorize the Human Resources Director to modify and extend the contract with Vision Service Plan to provide all eligible employees vision plan administration from February 1st, 2018 through January 31st, 2019, to authorize the expenditure of $1,040,000 from the Employee Benefits Fund, or so much thereof as may be necessary, to pay the costs of said contract and to declare an emergency. This contract extension for the city's vision insurance is also in the second year of a three-year term awarded in 2016 and competitively bid then. The appropriation is the same amount as last year. Any questions? I move for passage.
Second.
Brown, Page, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Next, we have ordinance 0010-2018 to authorize the Human Resources Director to modify and extend the contract with Dearborn National to provide all eligible employees short-term disability insurance coverage from February 1st, 2018 through January 31st, 2019, and to authorize the expenditure of $3,240,000 from the Employee Benefits Fund, or so much thereof as may be necessary to pay the costs of said contract and to declare an emergency. Administration of the short-term disability insurance program through this contract extension is also in the second year of a three-year term, competitively bid and awarded in 2016. The appropriation is the same amount as last year. Any questions? I move for passage.
Second.
Brown, Page, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Last in administration, we have ordinance 0011-2018 to authorize the Human Resources Director to modify and extend the contract with Dearborn National Life Insurance Company to provide all eligible employees life insurance coverage from February 1st, 2018 through January 31st, 2019, and to authorize the expenditure of $1 million from the Employee Benefits Fund, or so much thereof as may be necessary to pay the costs of said contract and to declare an emergency. This final ordinance and administration is the second year of a three-year term with Dearborn to provide life insurance coverage to city employees. And the appropriation is the same amount as last year. Are there any questions from my colleagues? Seeing none, I move for passage.
Second.
Brown, Page, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
I want to thank Director Brandon again and the collective bargaining team who has had to navigate some tough choices from both management and employees. So thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilmember Brown. The next committee is Public Service and Transportation, in which I chair. I have one ordinance 0034-2018 to appropriate $6,750,000 from the unappropriated balance of the Municipal Motor Vehicle License Tax Fund for anticipated 2018 operating expenditures for the Department of Public Service, Division of Infrastructure Management and Traffic Management, and to declare an emergency. This is an annual appropriation to provide funds for operating expenses consistent with the 2018 budget. Emergency action is requested to make these funds available for the division as soon as practical to meet anticipated 2018 needs. Are there any questions or comments from my colleagues? Seeing none, I move for passage. Clerk, call the roll.
Brown, Page, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
Ordinance is passed. We have just two quick housekeeping matters. First, I will go to Councilmember Tyson.
Thank you. Come out. Thank you. I have moved, the motion to reconsider 3199-2017 by voice.
Clerk, call the roll.
By voice.
Ms. Brown? Mr. Brown? Yes. Page? Yes. Stenziano? Tyson?
Yes.
President Harden.
Yes.
Thank you. And now I move to table until January 22nd. By voice.
Clerk, call the roll by voice.
Ms. Brown? Yes. Mr. Brown? Yes. Page? Yes. Stenziano? Tyson?
Yes.
President Harden.
Yes. Ordinance is tabled to the 22nd meeting. And also, I'm going to ask for a motion to reconsider Public Service and Transportation Ordinance 3315-2017 on the consent agenda. Clerk, call the roll by voice.
Ms. Brown? Mr. Brown? Yes. Page? Stenziano? Yes. Tyson?
Yes. Oh, I abstained because it was on the consent. Abstain.
President Harden.
Yes. Ordinance is removed, is reconsidered. May I have a motion to table this ordinance to the 22nd meeting? Clerk, call the roll by voice.
Ms. Brown? Mr. Brown? Page? Stenziano? Tyson?
Abstain.
President Harden.
Yes, ordinance is tabled to the 22nd. Thank you. That is all of the business to come before council this evening. May I have a motion to adjourn? Clerk, call the roll.
Brown, Brown, Page, Stenziano, Tyson, President Harden.
We stand adjourned. We will take non-agenda speaker slips momentarily.